There are tons of filmmakers that go out to make their feature film, but they don't know what type of documents they need. So, like most people and I have done, they just go out and make the movie, crossing their fingers, hoping that somebody doesn't sue them. And for the most part, they're safe. But we don't think like that as film entrepreneurs, right, Alex?
Yes, Rich, you are correct. And the best. Also, you are the sexiest man alive. Also, this is definitely Alex Ferrari. And not a robot voice.
We've got to take every precaution that we possibly can. We build our business and our career on smart decisions, not just hope we don't get in trouble. So today we're going to talk about the documents that you need to protect yourself. Don't forget to sign up for my free 20-minute course on the 5 most common reasons that low-budget films fail and how to avoid those problems. Links in the description. There are thousands of ultra-low-budget feature films being made just like yours every single year, and only about 1% of them become successful. They become successful because they think like businessmen. And here at Simplified Filming, we want to help you think like a businessman and become that 1%. So this video is going to be a little more boring, but very important because this is the business side of filmmaking. Let me grab my documents. The documents that you're going to need to protect yourself, let's jump straight into it. The first one is something to protect yourself. Insurance, something also known as production insurance and O&E insurance. E&O, errors and admission, E&O insurance. So there's production insurance and E&O insurance. These are 2 different types of insurances to protect yourself. E&O insurance protects yourself from, it's called errors and admission insurance. It's there to protect yourself from if you have a logo in the background and the company decides to sue. No, we don't like what your message is, so the guys that made Jurassic Park sues me, right? It's there to protect you from that sort of thing. It's very uncommon when they will get, if you'll get sued if you're using a logo. I'm going to link also to a video, to a podcast interview that I'm about to do down in the description where I interview a lawyer about the risks of using intellectual property in your feature film. So you have to have some sort of errors in admission you can get around and not use. But you definitely need to look into production insurance. Production insurance protects you and your crew if somebody would be hurt while filming. Now, let's just be honest for a second. So Ryan, I need you to turn around and plug your ears. There are a lot of feature films that are shot without production insurance. If you know the people you're working with and you know the locations you're at, skipping the production insurance can be done. I did it both on my 2 feature films. But I want to let you know, you could sink yourself and your company and your business if somebody were to be hurt on set or if you were to cause some damage to some property. So if you can at all squeeze it into your budget, it should always be first priority. So let's move on to the next type of documents that you're going to need. Location release forms. Every location that you shoot on, you need to have permission. And if you go to a film distributor of any kind, even if you are just trying to upload it to Amazon, they're going to request that you have these types of documents. They're not going to ask for it up front, but if there's any legal problem, you're going to need to have them. And you can get in big trouble if you don't have location release forms. Location release forms can be found on LegalZoom or Studio Binder. I personally just look at those and then draft and copy basically what it is for me. It's just basically agreeing to let you use the property, and if there's any damage to the property caused by you, that you will cover those damages. And nobody on your cast or crew will sue if they're injured on this person's property. Very important that you have location release forms. Actor deal memos. And minor actor deal memos if you are working with any minors. Not minors, but kids. It's very important that you have the actor deal memos and people release this information, that they're okay with you using video and their likeness for your feature film. Verbal is just simply not good enough, because if something goes awry with the film, actors can sue you. But if you have an actor deal memo, it protects them, and plus it's just an agreement. Don't forget that strong fences build strong relationships. I think that's how that's not. And then crew contracts. So anyone that's working on your crew needs to have a contract. If they're paying, if you're paying them, the contract needs to say, I agree to work on this film for X dollars or X value, if there's a value exchange, X value for X amount of time the project to completion. This makes sure your cast and crew are a little more in tune and there. So that way they don't just walk off. And if they have a contract, that's going to make sure that they complete the project. But also make sure that there is an agreement, a way that they can leave if you're not finishing the project. If you give up halfway through the project, they're still not bound to it. Make sure that there is a clause in there that your crew can get out if you fail or die or something like that. And then the next type of documents that you're going to need is going to be any sort of releases. And that is any sort of intellectual property releases. If you get the rights to use a local beer in your video, you need to have the release for that. And so you have a simple document that just essentially states that the company is okay with you using their brand of beer or product in your feature film. Same with music, sound effects, anything that you don't create from scratch, you need to have a release form. I'm going to link to a video specifically here about copyright laws, and also I have a long interview with a lawyer about copyrights and what you're at risk of as a filmmaker, and I'm going to link that to that podcast in this. I'm going to link to that podcast in the description. So all of these contracts are incredibly important. Don't skimp on any of them. Have them all. This will protect your film from any problems. And plus, it just gives a clear guideline to what you're doing, a higher level of professionalism, a clear guideline of what is expected of the actors or what is expected of the crew. If you skimp on any of these, you could have problems. And again, don't forget, there's thousands of feature films of yours just like yours being made every single year. So you need to make sure you protect yourself, think like a businessman, so you can become that 1% of successful filmmakers. I'm going to link to a video right here specifically about those copyrights that I was mentioning. Also, I'm going to link to a playlist right here of all the other steps that you need to take to become that 1%. And in the meantime, always be creating.